Please stand for the bride. On behalf of Grace and Pat, I want to thank you all for coming here to help them celebrate this exciting milestone. And Grace and Pat, this would be your time to look around and see all of the people you gathered here to be with you on this day. So how exactly did we arrive on this day? You all will probably hear the story of how these two met a couple of times this weekend if you haven't already. That's because it's something out of a romantic comedy, especially for those of us who met our husbands by developing light carpal tunnel in our thumbs. Even if you've heard it before, I, the best friend / quirky narrator in this scenario, has the unique privilege of telling it through the eyes of the two people who know it best, our main characters, our bride and groom. And just like a movie, I think I can do it in about 2 hours and 45 minutes. And that's not counting the intro part, because that was the previews. I'm just kidding. So we'll flash back to the summer of 2018, where our hero and heroine met at a co-ed bachelorette party, aware that the bride and groom, Tierney and Tyler, were intent on setting up their best friends. People here know that the movie trope of the blind date can go one of two ways. One of those ways is visually very, very badly. But our main characters, Grace and Pat, had the same thought, essentially, when seeing the other for the first time, and that was, okay, they're gorgeous. And who can blame them? We all have eyes. Just look at these two. Though in the movies, the beautiful girl or guy ends up being vapid or evil or not all that, you both found more and more reasons to love each other. So these stunningly good looks have just become kind of a good bonus. The weekend unfolded in the most picture-perfect way, but also in the most Grace and Pat way. Pat, ever practical, decided his opening line would be, "What's the best way to cook a chicken?" This, in classic Pat form, gave him the opportunity to learn something new and extend an intellectual challenge to Grace, a known vegetarian. But as a seasoned magazine editor, Grace knew the right answer was in a crock pot. Grace, in a metaphor that's a little too on the nose, even for the movies, showed Pat that she was capable of magic. Before Pat's eyes, she made a ring disappear. Maybe you both knew even then that ring would reappear a few years later and a few degrees shinier. Though you two only spent a few collective hours together in total, Pat made plans to visit New York soon after that weekend. It was under the guise of seeing friends, but nobody was fooled. A few too perfect coincidences made Pat look extra popular. He was running into old classmates and friends throughout the city, but to this day, we are not sure if those were paid actors. Maddie, Noah, and Amanda helped Grace plan the perfect itinerary. And Grace, though you were nervous before the trip, those jitters gave way to joy as you showed him around your favorite spots in Brooklyn, which gave way to sadness when he got into his Uber back to the airport. Grace is a crier. Little did our heroine know, during that same Uber drive, our hero Pat was experiencing, and I'm using his words here, an effervescent high, reminiscing about the weekend, and that's when he knew he was in love. Crucially, that fall, specifically October 16th, 2018 at 10:29 a.m., Grace received the approval she'd been waiting for, from me. Grace, I messaged you on Gmail in the midst of working really, really hard at my job and said, after meeting Pat, my main reason for chatting you is that I approve of Pat and may continue seeing him. And Grace responded, did you think he was cute? And Pat, in an effort to keep your ego in check, I'm not going to tell you my answer. With that essential box checked, we enter what they call a montage in the movies. So picture these two meeting in and around New York, like the bustling cities of Binghamton and Buffalo, smiling in front of Niagara Falls, packing and unpacking boxes as Pat moves to New York. And then, just as these two are settling into a picturesque life in Brooklyn in an apartment with a skylight, the pandemic hits. But quarantine was a special time for the two of you. Here's another montage. Pat falls in love with the Great British Bake Off, and Grace starts a nightly cookie baking tradition. Grace, true to character, cries trying to learn guitar. Pat grows his hair out to a length that necessitates braiding. And to the relief of all of us here, that style didn't last. That time together helped you both establish the values and traditions that you brought into your first home, a home you'll continue building and growing in Pittsburgh. In the last few years, you've found that you both complement each other in important ways. Pat's calm demeanor helps you, Grace, from becoming too stressed out, except during guitar lessons. He makes you laugh every single day, even when you try to resist. And Pat, Grace inspires you to be kinder to others, despite, and again I'm quoting here, your aversion to the human race. You admire Grace's thoughtfulness and determination, and you appreciate her easygoing nature. You're both looking forward to growing together in marriage. Pat on a linguistic level, because he prefers wife to fiancé or girlfriend. And Grace, because a lifelong marriage means you never have to worry if you spent enough time together today, because you'll have time together tomorrow. Most importantly, you've already proven that you both know how to be the most caring parents in the world. And if this really were a movie, the narrator's voice we've heard the whole time, the one I had you believing was me, the beautiful, funny best friend, would suddenly zoom out to reveal that it's Bodhi, who's been taking us through this epic love story all along. I spoke to him a little bit before the ceremony, and he wanted to say that these two are generous. Pat, because he always lets him get the last lick of the popsicle, and Grace, because she always pays the cheese tax. He wanted to say that they're adventurous and loving, taking him on trips to Lowe's and snuggling on the couch. And he wanted to say that their home is full of laughter, home-cooked meals, Survivor watch parties, and Pat's very cool dance moves. In a movie, we would end here. This wedding would be the equivalent of the fireworks. The main characters would kiss, roll the credits. But the beauty of this day is that it's not the final scene. It's only the beginning. There are many, many more scenes to come, and everyone here surrounding you is so happy to be a character in your story. I brought tissues because I was hoping I could get to do this bit, which is I packed tissues when I was packing the script because Grace is a crier. There are a few more steps that stand between the two of you. Need a tissue break? I have an extra.
No, I'm okay.
There are a few more steps that stand between you both and the long-awaited titles of husband and wife and the rest of us in the cocktail hour. Today, you're making a meaningful commitment to each other as you begin a new phase of your relationship. Pat, do you take Grace to be your wife, and do you promise to root for her when she eventually goes on Survivor, to be her rock when she's stressed, and her source of light when she needs a laugh, to honor and cherish her for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
And Grace, do you take Pat to be your husband, and do you promise to be his partner in all of your future adventures, to accompany him on his quest for greatness, to be a constant source of love and support, to honor and cherish him for as long as you both shall live?
I do.
Grace and Pat have prepared their own vows to share with each other and all of you. And Pat's first.
Yeah. All right. Grace, I'll never forget the moment I first saw you when you stepped off the bus in Philadelphia. And I thought, wow, she's out of my league. Who would have guessed back then that we would be standing where we are today? Especially when the first question I ever asked you was, what is the best way to cook chicken? Knowing full well that as a vegetarian, you did not eat chicken. Luckily, this error was harmless, and you still gave me a chance. And that was the day our story began, and there hasn't been a dull moment since. We essentially went from long distance immediately into quarantine, arguably the two furthest ends of the relationship distance spectrum. And we made it through both, which is quite impressive given that I particularly embraced the unkempt quarantine lifestyle. After we left New York, we did long distance again. but it was much easier and shorter the second time around. Then we got Bodie and settled in Pittsburgh. In a span of about 3 years, we went from long-distance lovers to suburban homeowners. And during that time, we've traveled, made memories, friendships, and a trusting bond that will last a lifetime. Grace, there are many things I love about you, but I'll only list a few. I love how inquisitive you are and how you always ask me how I'm doing or how things are going, even if I'm not as responsive as you'd like. I love that you let me ramble at length about any and everything, even if you don't have any interest in the topics that I'm talking about. I love how you try to show interest in Pitt sports, even though you don't necessarily understand my superstitions. I love that you have embraced Pittsburgh as your home and have put up with my endless endorsements of Pittsburgh over the years, even though you are from Cincinnati and our sports teams are bitter rivals. I love the differences that we have because they make our similarities all the more special. We've had quite a journey so far, and I can't wait to see all the places we'll go and all that we'll achieve in the years to come. I promise to always be there for you, whether to comfort or annoy you. I promise to always wake you up when you fall asleep on the couch so that you can get ready for bed. Oh, I missed the line. I promise to always fill your days with nonsense and make you laugh. I promise to always eat anything you cook. And finally, while I promise to limit the cliches in these vows, I promise to always love you.
And now we'll hear from Grace.
Pat, I don't know if I believe in love at first sight, but I do believe in this is the cutest guy I've ever seen. In fact, I think that's the first thing I texted my friends as soon as I saw you through the bus window in Philly. Sure, that weekend kicked off with a few awkward conversations, as I think everyone here has heard about. But it also involved letting our competitive streaks shine in Beer Olympics, a memorable first kiss in the ocean, and a fairy tale ending at the bus station, where, after saying our goodbyes, you ran back in a few minutes later, said, "I forgot something," and gave me a kiss. Later, I found out Tierney may have nudged you to do that. It was romantic nonetheless. Despite the fact that we started out long distance, or that we have the whole Pittsburgh-Cincinnati rivalry thing going on, it's always felt easy with you. You allow me to be my true, authentic self, and I love that I get the same from you in return, especially because you have somewhat of a tough shell. It wasn't long before we practically created our own language of weird phrases and songs, started accidentally matching every time we left the house, and talked about our future with no doubt in our minds that we would make it to this day. To put it simply, I just like being around you at all times. You bring out a laugh in me that I didn't even know I had, are the very best co-parent to Bodie, and have taught me a lot of random facts and trivia, starting with how many grams of coffee are in the perfect pot of French press, to more recently, the meaning behind law terms, like tortfeasor and hearsay. But while we're smooth sailing right now, I know any marriage comes with challenges and hard times, so I have a few promises that I hope will keep us going strong. Ha. I promise to split the fried pickles with you anytime they're on a menu. I promise to watch every new John Wick movie, if for no other reason than Keanu Reeves is your doppelganger. I promise to learn the difference between an HDMI cable and a USB cord. I promise to always drive there if you drive back. I promise to only ever buy Heinz ketchup. And most importantly, I promise to love and support you unconditionally as we enter this new phase in our lives.
Beautiful. Still have a little bit more. And Pat's been advancing a little bit, so just recenter right in front of me here. So you
Where?
back up. You come here.
I thought we were supposed to be close.
No, you can be close, but just in the center.
Oh.
No, thank you on the photos.
Thank you. Yeah,
You
sure.
can hold hands.
I'm new to this.
Okay, I need the words.
Good.
So So there are lots of different things on the internet, which is the community through which I'm ordained, that tell you about what rings symbolize. They're an unbreakable bond, they're a circle representing wholeness and eternity, unending love. But ultimately, Grace and Pat, you will decide what these rings symbolize to each of you as you build a marriage that is uniquely and completely yours. May these rings serve as a reminder of the commitment you make and the life you choose to build together, a life that only you two can build. So Pat, please take this ring and place it on Grace's finger, and you'll repeat after me.
Feel like
You just hold it there
Oh.
for a second. I give you this ring as a symbol of our love.
I give you this ring as a symbol of our love.
Let it be a reminder that I'm always by your side,
Let it be a reminder that I'm always by your side,
and that I will be your partner in life forever.
and that I will be your partner in life forever.
Okay. Grace, take this ring, place it on Pat's finger, and repeat after me. I give you this ring as a symbol of our love.
I give you this ring as a symbol of our love.
Let it be a reminder that I am always by your side,
Let it be a reminder that I'm always by your side,
and that I will be your partner in life forever.
and that I will be your partner in life forever.
I will take the glasses now. These are cups, not reading glasses. Okay. So before I pronounce these two married via the state of Ohio and the internet, I invite you both to participate in the tradition of breaking glass, which also has many different meanings, but in this case, I choose to believe it symbolizes the breaking or ending of your life as individuals as you begin a new era as husband and wife. So spoiler alert, you're gonna break the glass and then you will get to kiss the bride.
Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3.